Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I'm Geraci. Today we're going to talk about one of the things that I get asked the most, and it's what ND filters I use. In the past, I've used a lot of the Lee filter systems, the Kase filter systems, and they've been really good. They go on front of the camera, and they work for a multitude of situations. But I've really found recently that I don't like putting stuff on the front of my camera, whether that's because the wind will blow it off, it has a chance of getting damaged by rain, water, or other debris, or it's really just cumbersome to use. And that's kind of where we're at today, and we're talking about the new Kase internal ND filters. And they're not really new, they've been around for a while, but I just started using them, and I have to say, absolutely in love with them. They happen to be one of my favorite filters to use, just because you can use any type of lens you want on the camera body. And the way that this works is there's a couple different here. I bought the 4-pack filter. It comes with the UV filter and then a 3, 6, and 10 stop ND. And as you can see, this is the 10 stop. It's super dark and it's great. But what's really fantastic about these guys is they don't go in front of the camera lens, they go in front of the sensor. And this is what makes them so versatile, in my opinion, is because you can use any lens you want in any kind of shooting situation, and whether that's for photo or for video, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But it's really great because all this does is, and I'll open this up here, it goes right in front of your sensor. You just plop it right in. It's pretty easy to do. But I found that in a situation where I want to switch lenses, especially if I'm using something like the 12 to 24, and then I want to go to something tighter like a 70 to 200 or a 24 to 70, or even something larger than that, I can use these filters and it just works wonders, especially if you're doing time-lapse photography or as video, as we said before. But there's a caveat to that. I've been using these for the past 3 months now, 4 months, and while I really like them, there are some drawbacks to them. And the drawbacks are, it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of finesse to get these both in and out of the camera. It does come with a little, I'll say it's a guitar pick, I've already lost it, but you do have to basically pry this out when you're ready to go, and that can be really awkward to do in field, especially if you're doing something that's run and gun, and if you are shooting video, you really want to make sure that you're sticking with one ND filter through the entire course of the production shoot. Otherwise, it will take probably 2 to 3 minutes to remove and put back in. Plus, you also have to make sure that you don't get dust or debris in the sensor while you're doing it. So you want to do it in a controlled environment. You can do this out in the field, but it's really risky. And while it's possible, I would probably say you might want to side on the air of caution and not do these while you're actually shooting in the field, because you will likely get dust, debris, or just smudge them. And that's one thing that I would like to talk about is these are really great, and they do a great job of doing what they're supposed to do, and that's block out light or add some extra stops in front of your camera. But at the same time, these smudge super easy. So you want to make sure that you're always holding it from the very bottom of the grip right here. And if you do happen to get anything on the top of them, you want to make sure that you use a cleaning solution with a nice cloth quickly. Otherwise, you will see it and you will notice the defects inside the camera. Okay, so that's one aspect of that. So now we're going to talk about the video aspect. I have to say these filters work immensely well for video, and I was using it in the new A7S III, and it worked really well. And this was a 6-stop filter, so I was able to shoot at a really nice 2.8 and 1.4 respectfully, depending on what lens I was using, and it really created a really nice image. And the color casting that comes off of these filters, it's not terrible. It's a slight cyan hue, and that's only if you're in the 6 to 10 stop range. I haven't noticed any type of color infidelity at all or casting inside the lower 3-stop one. But if you do go up in those higher ones, you will see a little bit of a blue cast. But I will say it's super easy to take out in post, and ultimately though, like, it's very minimal. I've only seen it in a few situations, so that's a huge plus. The other thing though, when you are using it with the A7S III, is that I don't think that these filters were actually meant to be used with the A7S III or even the A7R4, because the internal casing around the sensor is just slightly different, and these come with a very small cloth insert that has to go over top of your sensor, and this helps prevent light leaks, and you have to have it. Otherwise, if you're doing long exposures, you're going to notice huge amounts of light leaks, and it looks really bad. So that's one thing I hope they I hope they improve the design on later on, is they need to add something or modify it for the A7S III as well as the A7R4. It is possible to use it, but you're not going to get that nice clicking in feeling or sound, and it will likely be loose when you're inside. So you have to be very careful if you're using it on those two cameras. But if you're using it on the A7R III, the A7S II, or even the A3 or A7 III, fantastic. They do a great job. But I would like to see some new modifications for the newer cameras that come out. Overall, really impressed with these filters. As you can see in some of the test footage I've used, the footage looks beautiful. It's coming out just the way you would if you actually had a matte box and an ND filter over top of the lens. And it just makes it so much easier and much more versatile when you want to switch lenses. So I would definitely say if you're in the market for a new ND filter, to pick up a set of these Kase NDs. They come in either a kit with, again, the 3, 6, or 10 stop, or you can buy them individually. I think the kit was just slightly cheaper, so I went with the kit. Love it. It's really nice. Now I do hope they add a few more flavors. I know they have a 4 and 5 stop filter as well, but it would be nice to see some quarter stops somewhere along the way to do some like smaller end ND filter work with the cameras that we're using. Overall though, if you are in the market for new NDs and you don't want the hassle of having to switch out the front NDs or work with cumbersome units where you have to switch out rings on the front of it and then put on a new one, it's just, I hate that stuff. So utilizing the Kase internal NDs is probably one of the best investments I've had as a photographer as of late, and they're really great quality. I think you should take a look and see if you want to start using them professionally. But overall, really satisfied with them, and yeah, I couldn't say anything more. But what's your experience with these? Are there any type of filters that you really like or that you could recommend as well? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you are interested in learning more about these or seeing more test footage shot with the internal ND filters, let me know. We'll throw up some videos. It'll be great. Also, don't forget to swing by my website, district7.com, and you can register for a free class I'll be hosting in January that talks about selling online stock video. It's going to be awesome. You even get a chance to win a brand new Dell Precision 5750 as well as some stuff from Blackmagic. It's going to be great. Registration is free, so just go ahead and sign up. Registration ends on January 20th. And as always, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe. Happy shooting. Thanks for joining me, guys.